welcome to this little roadside meadow. So I'm quickly going to try and show you crown vetch before a bunch of cars come by here. This is the busy side of my property on the busy road. So this plant looks really pretty. It's used a lot in the state of Missouri as erosion control. I've had a lot of positive feedback and a lot of questions lately on some of these wild plants. I just want to encourage you that when you're out walking, I want to encourage you to take pictures of something like this that you find interesting. Go home, look it up, and get all the information that you can about this, because as innocent looking as this plant is on the surface, it's actually, this plant can kill a horse. Now I've got a car coming by, so hold on. So a horse's stomach is different than that of a cow, a goat, or a sheep, because those are ruminant stomachs, which I don't really understand it because I don't raise those kind of animals, but those kind of animals can chew something up and then it comes up later and they chew on it again, it comes up later, it goes through a series of stomach chambers, and those kind of animals can actually handle the toxins in this plant. A horse does not have that kind of stomach, and this can literally kill a horse. So the toxins are mostly in like the growing branches and I believe in the petals. And underneath the surface, this small patch that's right here can actually have like a 10-foot rhizome. This thing is almost impossible to eradicate. You would just have to keep cutting it down. You'd have to poison it with some sort of systemic poison. And your dog shouldn't chew on this. It looks innocent enough. You can tell it looks like a member of the bean family, just like a pea. And it's got this crown-like look when you look right down on it. There are many different kinds of vetches. This one just happens to be crown vetch. So make sure you know what is growing in your yard, in your meadows, and around you so that you can stay safe. All right, let's go look at something else. This is definitely not coming home to my majesty. This crown can stay right here. Going to recognize this, especially the ones with the shorter, wider leaves. But the veins, those deep veins, that's pretty common. You know what this is, right? This is plantain. Of course, it's in the plantain family. This particular one with this rosette at the bottom of these lance-shaped leaves and one tall stem coming up to the top. It's pretty unmistakable. Y'all know plantain. This one's actually called English plantain. It's Latin. It's plantago. Plantago is Latin for foot-like. And then lanceolata is Latin for lance-shaped or lance-shaped leaves. You'll always see those parallel veins in plantain. It's good for, they say it's good for digestion. I wouldn't suggest eating these once they get flowered out like this, because the older a plant gets, the tougher it gets and the more bitter it gets. This is probably better to eat if you were going to. I haven't eaten plantain since I was a kid, but when it's younger, before it flowers out like this. This is my go-to wound care though. If I'm outside and I get a bug bite or some sort of a wound, it's good for these leaves. You crush them up, bruise them. These are excellent for wound care, for immediate wound care. She's got some kind of a inflammatory, anti-inflammatory substance in these leaves, and it brings down the swelling and helps that bug bite, helps you get over that bug bite. So this is what I call Her Majesty's Footmen, because, yep, plantago, foot-like, lanceolata, lance-shaped, English plantain. So I don't really trust some of those apps that you put on your phone for IDing plants. I sometimes get 3 different answers. So what I would suggest you do, if you don't have a book, I happen to have the book for Missouri, and I also have my my Herbal RX book for what these herbs are good for, but you can always Google that. Just take a picture of it. Make sure you get a picture of the flower, the stem, make a note on the height, where you found it, what time of year it was growing, where you're at, what zone, and make sure you take a lot of, you know, good pictures of the leaves, because that's going to tell you a lot, especially when the plant hasn't bloomed yet. All right, let's go meet her ladies in waiting. Well, let's take a few steps from my mailbox because I have a little bit of joy I want to share with you. The wind would stop blowing. So do you see that pink blossom? Do you see how close that was to my mailbox? Look what I found. Remember my video about finding roses on my property and being so disappointed that I named the video "The Bad News Is" because they're multiflora invasive roses that bloomed white? Well, the other day I was coming home and happened to see this little pink blossom just before I got to my mailbox, and I said, think I'll get down and give that a closer inspection. And sure enough, it's a prairie rose. It's a wild prairie rose. I never saw it last year. It must have been mowed down. So look how beautiful she is. Whoops, that doesn't belong. This. Look at her. So she's growing here next to this beautiful plantain. So I'm going to go ahead and consider her one of Her Majesty's ladies in waiting. And a bonus, the wind would stop. For whatever reason, these seem to be happy little companions, because here's another plantain. And look what's growing right behind it. Another beautiful little lady in waiting, wild prairie rose. So yes, Her Majesty, oh, look at the bud. Her Majesty will have 2 ladies in waiting. I'm going to go ahead and transplant these right up next to Her Majesty and save these from being mowed down anymore and let them grow, let them create their magnificence. I'm so happy and so blessed that I found 2 prairie roses right here that I can transplant, and I just wanted to share that joy with you all. Blessed be.